David, the shepherd chosen by God. In the quiet fields of Bethlehem, where green hills touched the horizon and the air carried the scent of new grass, a young shepherd watched over his flock. His name was David, the youngest son of Jesse. While his older brothers served in the army or worked the land, David spent his days among the sheep, a staff in one hand and a harp in the other. But this boy was not forgotten. God was watching him. In the stillness of the fields, surrounded by wind and the soft bleating of sheep, David lifted his voice in praise. He sang not for men but for heaven. His songs were prayers, pure and heartfelt. They would one day become part of the Psalms, words that have comforted souls for thousands of years. One day, the prophet Samuel was sent by God to Jesse's house. The Lord had told him, "I have chosen one of his sons to be king." One by one, Jesse's older sons stood before the prophet, strong, brave, impressive men. But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not look at his appearance or height. The Lord does not see as man sees. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." So Samuel asked, "Are these all your sons?" Jesse answered, "There is still the youngest. He's tending the sheep." And God said, "Rise and anoint him, for this is the one." Samuel poured oil on David's head, and from that moment, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. The shepherd boy had been chosen by heaven. Time passed, and Israel faced its greatest enemy, the Philistines. Their champion, a giant named Goliath, mocked the army of Israel for 40 days. No one dared to face him. But when David arrived at the battlefield to bring food to his brothers, he heard the giant's insults, and his heart burned with righteous courage. He said, "Who is this Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" David volunteered to fight. King Saul hesitated, but David told him, "Your servant has fought lions and bears. The Lord who rescued me from them will also rescue me from this Philistine." He refused Saul's armor and went out with only his sling, his staff, and 5 smooth stones from a brook. Standing before the giant, David declared, "You come to me with sword and spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts." He took a stone, placed it in his sling, and ran forward, not with fear but with faith. And in one divine moment, the Lord gave victory to Israel through a shepherd. From that day, David became a hero, but fame often brings envy. King Saul, who once loved David like a son, became jealous and sought to destroy him. David fled to the wilderness, to deserts, mountains, and caves, and there, in loneliness and struggle, he wrote his most powerful prayers. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." In the darkness of exile, David learned that true faith is not shaped in palaces, but in the wilderness. Years passed, Saul fell in battle, and David was crowned king of Israel. The shepherd became a ruler. He united the tribes, brought peace to the land, and established Jerusalem as the nation's capital. With joy and music, he brought the Ark of the Covenant back to the city. David danced before the Lord with all his heart, unashamed, filled with gratitude. Under his reign, Israel flourished, and God made him a promise that his descendants would sit on the throne forever. From his lineage, generations later, the Messiah would be born. But even the greatest hearts can stumble. In a moment of weakness, David sinned and brought sorrow to his house. Yet when the prophet Nathan confronted him, David didn't hide. He fell to his knees and cried out, "Have mercy on me, O God, according to your unfailing love. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." God forgave him. Though the pain remained, his faith was restored. David learned that true strength is not in power or victory, but in humility before God. As the years passed and his hair turned white, David sat upon his throne and looked out over Jerusalem at sunset. He called for his son Solomon and said, "Be strong and courageous. Keep the ways of the Lord your God, and he will be with you wherever you go." And so the shepherd, the musician, the warrior, and the king ended his days in peace. His life became a testimony of faith, failure, redemption, and hope, a story that still speaks to every heart that seeks after God. "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" And that was David, the shepherd who became a king, the man after God's own heart.